I just done a video there on Dylan White, and he's talking about coming back and having one last world title run. I would just say, if you want, go and give that a watch. It got me thinking about Joseph Parker because I mentioned him as a potential opponent for Dylan White, and it reminded me that we have Usyk versus Dubois. Now it's still a long way away. It's 2 months away. Still a while away. It was announced very early. But we've Usyk versus Dubois and no undercard announced, and Joseph Parker still doesn't have a fight or an opponent lined up. And I worry about that for one specific reason, right? Joseph Parker had a great, I was going to say great, yeah, he did have a great 2023 because he started the year off very badly in a very lackluster affair against Jack Massey. It's not a terrible fighter, Jack Massey, but that was a heavyweight. Jack Massey's a cruiserweight, stopped by Ujaya Apataya. And then he just kind of went through the motions. I think he had a fight in Australia, fought that Simon Keane guy, and I think there was another fight in between. And then he fought Deontay Wilder on the Day of Reckoning show, and that was, boom, into the stratosphere. He beat Deontay Wilder, upset the apple cart because obviously Wilder's meant to fight Joshua. Goes and he fights Zhilei Zhang, beats him, disputed, very close, gets off the ground twice, or canvas twice, but he beats him. No one's disputing that. And then it was a year of inactivity. And that activity was broken by a day's notice Martin Bakole. It's not exactly a great look, is it? For a year of inactivity for that. So it's not exactly put him in good stead, but he still has a lot of confidence and he is still a heavyweight, in my opinion, who still has a lot to offer the division. And I think deserves a world title shot. I really, truly do. For certainly the back-to-back fight with Wilder and Zhang. The Bakole fight, let's take it in context, fair enough, but at least those two performances, certainly, yes. Where is that world title fight? When is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? And when's his next fight? Because I don't want to see Joseph Parker be sat up on the shelf for another year. Because he is still quite young for the heavyweight, but, you can't afford to have one bad year of inactivity and then another bad year of inactivity. You know what I mean? It'll come back to bite you. So I hope Joseph Parker is out soon. I would love to see him on the undercard of Daniel Dubois versus Alexander Usyk too, because I think that he is in line. He is next in line to face the winner. So it would only make sense for him to get a crack and get a run out on said card. There's been a lot of talk about him maybe potentially fighting Anthony Joshua next, putting his interim title on the line. I'd be very surprised if Team Joshua go down that road at this point. We know Joshua's back in training. We know Tyson Fury is back in training as well. He hasn't announced anything, but we know. The Ring Magazine have him ranked still at number 2 in their rankings. I mean, what does that tell you? I thought he was retired. Officially, he's meant to be retired. So I reckon we're going to get Joshua Fury at some point this year. That X's out the Joseph Parker fight. Ajit Kabayel. Apparently Kabayel was offered Klitschko. Vladimir Klitschko. Imagine that. Turned it down apparently, but why is Vladimir Klitschko come up? Why is he looking to fight Kabayel? Jesus Christ! I mean, he's nearly 50. Is Vlad? What the hell? Fair play, but goddamn. So I don't think it's going to be that, and it has me wondering. What are they going to do with Joseph Parker? I think that if Dylan White gets through whoever on June the 7th, and he gets through unscathed, maybe they could do Dylan White Joseph Parker. But that's not really going to stand you in good stead for the winner of Usyk Dubois now, is it? And I personally think that if Alexander Usyk beats Daniel Dubois, which I expect him to be honest with you, then likelihood is Joe Parker's just going to get elevated to full champion anyway. And then, he's in a good position for big fights, but, Joshua could be tied up with Fury. Fury won't fight Joseph Parker because they're best buds, and Joseph Parker won't fight Fury. So you're kind of like, oh, what do you do then? Whereas I think if Daniel Dubois beats Alexander Usyk, he will absolutely give Joseph Parker his crack, an immediate crack at the WBO title. He won't be elevated to full champion, of course, because I think Dubois will fulfill that mandatory obligation. But saying that, Dubois may have more lucrative purses offered to him by way of fights with Anthony Joshua or said Tyson Fury, which neither of them deserve a world title shot. But at the end of the day, Manny Pacquiao is getting a world title shot. He's fighting Mario Barros on July 19th. Does he deserve it? Hell to the no. Man looks old. I don't even want to go there. So, Joseph Parker, I hope we see him soon. I do. I think there's still plenty on the table for Joseph Parker. I want to see him get his crack at the world title. I really do. I think it's long overdue. And I hope we see him, if nothing else, in a big fight. well, I don't know if he's going to be fighting on July the 19th, but let's speculate and say that he may potentially be fighting July the 19th. I want to see him in a big fight. I think he deserves it. I really do. I think he deserves it. So, bit of a short video here, just kind of rambling and giving my 2 cents on what I think the future may hold for Joseph Parker. I just hope he's not inactive first and foremost, and I don't think he will be. I think this time around he'll be good to go. But yeah, let's see what the future holds. I think, and I kind of hope he's going to be on the undercard of Usyk versus Dubois too, which we haven't had any announcement on the undercard yet. I'm not worried about it at all. We're 2 months away. They normally don't do these things until about a month, 6 weeks before the fight, so I wouldn't worry, again, too much about that necessarily. But you are kind of curious to see who is going to be on it, because a lot of the guys who you would expect to be on these big shows, some of them have fights lined up, some of them don't. So let's wait and see. For now, I will leave it there. I hope you enjoyed the video. People, smash the like button if you could. Hit subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. And until next time, peace.